Have you ever wondered why is it that some people can eat like every 2 hours and stay absolutely thin, and some others feel like they are just putting on weight even if they watch others eating? Also, have you observed that some people find it so easy to be relaxed and calm and centered, and they can actually think of solutions in highly stressful situations, and some others will feel very anxious and nervous and stressed out even like for the smallest little issues. And I've seen so many people who consume all the iced drinks and foods, sit in highly air-conditioned rooms of freezing temperatures and not have as much as a cough. And some others will fall ill and feel extremely uncomfortable in cold temperatures. This is because no two people are alike. Even identical twins have unique body, mind, genetic and metabolic differences. This is why the internet and the world is full of contradictions. Some saying some things worked for them or suited them, and some others saying it didn't suit them. Subjectively seen, all of them are right in their own ways. But what if you don't have to try a million zillion different things and go through that tedious trial and error process to figure out what heals you or what will reduce your bloating or fat or inflammation or chronic disease or whatever it is that you're trying to achieve? Hi and welcome to Curiosity with me, Daisy. The ancient wisdom of Ayurveda is built on this very crucial understanding that no two people are alike. Hence, it actually heals different people in different ways depending on their very specific body constitution or Prakriti, or to put it very simply, their nature. But how does Ayurveda figure out a person's specific nature or Prakriti? Literally everything in the universe is made up of 5 basic elements which are called as the Panchamahabhutas, which are space, also called as Akasha in Sanskrit, or Ether, air or Vayu, fire or Agni, water or Jal, and earth or Prithvi. And since we are a part of this universe, all these elements are in us as well, and they determine our physical and mental constitution. These 5 elements are categorized into doshas. That's Vata dosha, which is a combination of air and space, Pitta dosha, which is a combination of fire and water, and Kapha dosha, which is a combination of earth and water. Every single person and animal has all the 3 doshas in them. Just the amount of Vata, the amount of Pitta and the amount of Kapha varies from person to person. And this unique ratio proportion blend of Vata, Pitta and Kapha forms a person's Prakriti and is as unique as his or her fingerprint. And this Prakriti is formed at the time of conception, when we were in the embryonic stage of life in our mother's wombs, and remains our Prakriti or nature till the end of our lives. Okay, so for the most of us, either 2 doshas are dominant, or some people might have 1 dominant dosha in them, and very few people have all the 3 doshas in perfect equal balance, which is actually called tridoshic, but that's quite rare. Just by reducing the effect of the dominant dosha with food and lifestyle and environment and habits, we end up creating balance in the body and mind. Also, another very important point to note here is the difference between Prakriti and Vikriti. Don't worry, I've actually kept this very, very simple for you to understand. Prakriti or nature is basically your nature. It's basically that dosha that was formed at the time of conception, that unique ratio proportion blend, and Vikriti is your current state of imbalance. So, let's say you're born a Kapha dominant person, but currently your Vata is out of balance. So that means you are a Kapha Prakriti person having a Vata Vikriti. So in very simple terms, Prakriti is like your operating system. It's you, and Vikriti is like this glitch that has slipped into your operating system due to some circumstances or whatever. I'm just using the techno language because that's just more relatable in today's times, right? So when we are talking about balance in the current state, we are talking about decreasing the dosha that is currently out of balance. So when we balance the Vikriti, you get back to your natural state, that is your specific Prakriti, the one that you were born with. But you might say, okay, I have balanced my Vikriti, but I want to balance that dominant dosha in my Prakriti as well. or nature. So you actually cannot balance the dominant dosha in your Prakriti because you're born with it, but you certainly can reduce its effects by eating and living in a way that manages its effects, and that's why Ayurveda is a life science. It's the way you live your entire life. Different vikritis can happen at different stages of life, like adolescence and adulthood and middle age and old age, and also due to like different reasons like stress. That's the main factor in today's times, right? Like also environment and food and lifestyle, etc. So you can, for example, be born like a Kapha Prakriti person, having a Vata Vikriti at times or a Pitta Vikriti at times. It completely depends on what you're going through in life at that point of time. And this video will give you a very clear idea on how you can actually read your mind-body signs and heal yourself. Okay, so the first one is the king of all doshas. It's the Vata dosha or Vata body type. Now, Vata dosha or Vata body type is like this combination of air and space elements when they come together. So let's first look at space element. So space is all around us, right? It fills the gaps between everyone and everything that exists. It's also responsible for the transmission of sound, vibration or energy in any form. Like if someone is playing a guitar in front of me, I can hear it. It's the space that is transporting that guitar sound to my ear. And this space is present in literally every cell of the human body. It's in the cavities and the channels, between tissues and inside the hollow organs, and it is this space that creates this vibrational effect in every cell of our body. That's why they say that when you think and hear or say something, it manifests in every cell of your body because thought, speech and sound are all vibrations. So the space element in Vata is responsible for communication and sound and all the subtler movements within the body. Now, the air element in Vata. Just observe air on a very windy or breezy day. Wind will just move like willy-nilly in different directions. It's light and it's cool, it's dry, it's irregular, it's impulsive, it's formless, rough, minute, it's very quick, and movement is the main feature. It's always moving, right? So similarly, Vata dosha is responsible for all movement in the body, like respiration and circulation in the body, be it blood or fluid or plasma, nerve impulses. It's also a movement. Even these nerve impulses are movements. Heart function and heartbeat, because that's again a movement. Diaphragmatic movements, peristalsis, different forms of peristalsis happens in like the esophagus, the stomach, the small and large intestine, urinary tract, etc. Then menstruation, again a movement. Orgasms, then the air element is also in the movement of these joints, pulsations in tissues. So air is in the coordination of all our sensory and motor activities like transport of nutrients within the body. Any movement within the body, basically. Okay, so you know why I began with Vata dosha? Because it's the most important dosha. It's responsible for like balance in our nervous system and neurological health. So it basically determines a major part of mental health. And I believe that when your mind and nervous system are balanced, most of human health issues are solved, because we're realizing today that a lot of the ailments are actually psychosomatic, right? Okay, now we move on to Pitta dosha or Pitta body type, which is a combination of fire and water when they come together. Let's first look at fire. So fire is hot, right? It lights up a space and it's sharp, it's intense, it's penetrating. You cannot ignore a fire, right? Also, it burns and transforms. It metabolizes. Anything you put on fire changes form. So similarly, Pitta dosha is a source of all transformative processes within us, like digestion. You eat a piece of bread, it becomes energy and nutrients. Pitta's fire element is also responsible for absorption. Great metabolism is an absolute signature trait of Pittas. Then great enzyme activity. It regulates body temperature. That's thermoregulation. It's responsible for hormone functions, also vision, light perception, color and luster. So vision is a very important feature of Pitta people, whether it's the vision of the eye, like the physical eye, or vision in the sense of the mind, like visionary. So most visionaries are Pittas or Pitta combinations. Again, observe that all these functions that I just mentioned have the element of fire in them. And now the water element or Jal in Pitta. Now it's fluid, right? Just like the nature of water is to flow or fluidity. It cools and it lubricates. It's cohesive, meaning it binds, it nourishes, it moistens the tissues. And it's also responsible for all bodily fluids and secretions like plasma and blood and serum, mucus, saliva, digestive juices, sweat, urine, semen, etc. And lastly, Kapha dosha, which is made up of the earth and water elements. Let's look at earth first. Now, earth is very strong, right, and stable. It's very grounded. It's very heavy and very dense. Like, it's also cool and smooth, sturdy. It has a very definite form. Similarly, earth element in Kapha makes the body very heavy. Like Kapha people have large frames and they are big boned. They are slow, cold to the touch, very oily, smooth, soft people, like stable also. So Kapha gives the body strength and stability, like the structure, endurance and density, just as the earth has like this tangible form. Hence Kapha is responsible for all like the tangible forms in our body as well, like teeth and nails and hair, skin, tendons, bones, muscles, joints, tissue formation and repair. Kaphas have amazing immunity. Also, the movement of the earth is really slow, right? Similarly, being slow and steady and consistent is a very characteristic signature trait of Kaphas. The water element in Kapha is responsible for like lubrication and moisture, fluid balance in the body. So Kaphas have very well lubricated joints and they retain moisture in their bodies really well. But how does Vata, Pitta and Kapha express itself in our bodies, or how might a Vata, Pitta or Kapha dominant person feel like in the body? Now first thing is like the Vata people usually have very slim and lean bodies and delicate structures with very prominent bones, kind of jutting out, visible veins and lean muscles, kind of a very slender, thin build. They're often either too tall or they're too short. They have like narrow limbs and fingers and toes. So Pittas are those medium athletic build, medium height with highly developed muscular system. They are neither too bulky nor too lean, medium height, and they're usually people who are very attracted to sports, gymming, bodybuilding, etc. So their hands and feet are usually sweaty, moist, warm to the touch, never cold, even in the winters. Kaphas, just like the earth, are very dense and they're large, right? So heavy build with broad wide frame, with large, well-developed muscles. And women have like naturally curvy bodies, broad hips and voluptuous build. Men and women tend to have like this padding of fat around the midsection, thick and dense legs as well, and hands. And their hands and feet will be very moist and cold to the touch, very broad, like shovel-like hands and fingers, So how would they look like? Like Vata people, the faces would often have narrow, elongated features, just like their limbs are. Vata people will also have small crossover kind of teeth. Enamel of the teeth can be, chipped off at times. Pitta people, their facial features will often be very angular or sharp with well-defined symmetrical features. Eyes can be very intense, just like fire, it penetrates. Very sharp also, sometimes bloodshot eyes. They're very sensitive to light. So if you open the curtains early in the morning, they will probably squirm in discomfort. They usually have a very penetrating, deep bass voice. Kapha's facial features will often be very round and soft with full, like gentle, calm expression with very broad features, big eyes, expressive eyes, but very calm eyes. Their skin, like the Vata skin, will be very dry in nature. They will have patchy, rough, dry skin all over the body. Also dryness in the eyes, nose, scalp, lips, hair, nails. Also less saliva on the tongue. So their skin would be very cold to the touch. They tend to obviously wrinkle quickly because they're dry. They easily get very bad dark circles under the eyes because their skin is very thin. Pittas, on the other hand, will usually be very bright and shiny, oily and moist most of the times, warm to the touch, elasticy skin because it has a lot of oil in it. They will be yellowish or reddish or rosy in complexion. Their skin will be sensitive to the sunlight. They will just sometimes have freckles or moles. But when out of balance, they suffer from inflammatory conditions like acne and skin rashes, eczema, rosacea, psoriasis, also bleeding in the gums. Kapha people's skin will be thick and moist, well lubricated, soft, glowing, resilient. It's very actually tough, smooth, also cool to the touch, and they most often are very pale or fair in complexion. So the eyes, so Vatas have very deep inset eyes, very quick random eye movements. They don't stay, focused on your eye when they're talking to you. So it's just randomly moving around. Pitta people have bloodshot or red eyes, dry sometimes, or light sensitive. And eyes feel very hot and warm, especially when they, close their eyelids. Kapha's eyes will usually be large and attractive, very calm, often dark or blue with a very serene, calm quality. Hair. Vata people usually have dry and brittle, thin, coarse hair that's often prone to split ends and a lot of hair loss. Pittas will usually be very oily or greasy hair, fine, soft, with a tendency for premature graying or hair loss or balding in men. Usually, their hair will have this reddish or golden tinge to it, especially when you see it under the sun. Kapha's hair will usually be thick and abundant and dense, lustrous, wavy or curly, whatever texture, but it'll be oily and strong, often dark or blonde. Joints. So Vata's joints will feel very crackly and not very flexible, because they are dry in nature. Pitta's joints are very elastic and flexible, but prone to arthritis again, which is an inflammatory condition when imbalanced especially. Kapha's joints are usually very strong and well lubricated, so they can hold a lot of the yoga poses better than a Vata person. Plus, they will be better at weight training because they're much stronger. Circulation and respiration. Since movement defines Vata, so when Vata people are out of balance, they will have really bad circulation. So like this stiffness and coldness in the fingers and joints. Pittas usually have very good circulation. That's not an issue for Pittas. Kaphas usually have issues with circulation in the sense of respiration, like sinuses or congestion in the lungs and chest and asthma, excessive phlegm and mucus formation, white coated tongue, sinusitis, bronchitis, not only higher mucus production but also higher salivation and fluid retention in the body. So they will have like this tendency for edema, that's like swelling, especially when they are inactive or in damp or cold weather like monsoons. So Vatas will very easily lose weight even if they end up eating a lot, but they tend to have irregular appetite. Sometimes they feel more hungry and sometimes no hunger at all, but most of the times they're very, very thin and lean. Since Pittas have great metabolism, they easily lose and gain weight when inactive, obviously. Kaphas, they gain weight very easily and find it very difficult to reduce weight because of their inherent earth and water heaviness in their bodies. They have a tendency to retain water in their bodies and have this swelling and, edema kind of a feeling, bloating. Energy. Vata people will exhaust their energy really soon because they are thinking and acting at the speed of air. Pittas are more prone to fatigue due to their perfectionist attitudes. So they want everything perfect and they want to control everything. So they feel exhausted because of that. Kaphas have steady energy, stamina, excellent physical endurance and recovery because their immunity will usually be very great. That's a very characteristic trait of the Kaphas. Very good immunity. Then digestion. Generally, Vatas have uncomfortable digestion, excessive gas and constipation, bloating. They feel hungry at times and no hunger at all at times. So just inconsistency, just like air, they'll just keep shifting. Pitta people have very strong digestive fire. Like they are the ones who can eat like every 2 hours and not gain weight at all. Their bowel movements are also very regular, usually 1 or 2 formed bowel movements every day. But when they are imbalanced, they will have like burning, digestion, and this sour taste in the mouth, acidity, heartburn, diarrhea, ulcers, indigestion or loose stools. And if they don't eat on time, they feel very nauseous, discomfort, or very irritated if they miss their meals, because their digestive fire then becomes very overactive, like too much. Slowness defines kaphas. So they have this slow metabolism. So their digestive fire often needs a lot of stimulation to ignite. They feel hunger or thirst very rarely or after several hours. Slow bowel movements, sticky stools. They are generally sluggish or groggy, especially after meals. They just want to take a nap. They are prone to lethargy and then brain fog. And most of these couch potatoes are usually kaphas who are out of balance. But being sedentary is the one thing a kapha should never do. Sleep. Vata people, I think as you must have guessed, have very disturbed and interrupted sleep. They end up waking multiple times, even for the littlest sounds. Pitta people sleep very well, usually, and they wake up also very early, but when out of balance, they will find it very difficult to sleep. Also, they don't understand the importance of rest because they are in this overdrive to achieve in life. Kaphas obviously enjoy deep, long, and sound sleep. Obviously. Temperatures. Vatas prefer warm temperatures, and they are the ones who usually find cold temperatures and air-conditioned environments absolutely unbearable. And they are also susceptible to catching cold, but it will be like the dry cold, not like the phlegm cold. Pittas are usually comfortably warm, but not hot in body temperature. But when they go out of balance, they will feel very, very hot, end up having headaches and migraines, too much sweating, and bad sweat odor or even bad breath at times. Also hot flashes, fevers, infections, all these are inflammatory conditions. So they always prefer cooler temperatures and cooling foods. Kapha types generally feel best in warmer temperatures, drier conditions, and tend to dislike this cold, damp monsoon kind of a weather because it causes a lot of congestion and sluggishness in them. Now let's see how Vata, Pittas and Kaphas gets expressed in the mind. Just like air, Vata is responsible for that lively creativity, a lively imagination, enthusiasm. This drive to do things in life comes from the Vata. Vata people have this rapid thought processes and their brains and minds are just like clicking, and they creatively problem solve and connect, and they grasp and they learn very quickly, but also they forget quickly. They're enthusiastic to meet everyone in a party and socialize. They love to travel and have these new experiences. But when they're imbalanced, movement becomes too much, like way overboard. So they will feel like volume on all their senses are turned up, like this hypersensitivity to noise or touch or environmental changes, a lot of mood swings. Their thoughts will be fast, like the wind. They cannot focus or concentrate on one thing, a kind of this hyper vigilant state of mind or different degrees of it. And they have occasional tremors, anxiety, fear, nervousness, panic attacks or impulsiveness. They are unable to make decisions because they're just wavering. They worry a lot. They have this feeling of being ungrounded or scattered most of the times. And Vatas are the kind of people who overthink, overanalyze, and overreact to everything. They have their fight and flight response turned on in most situations in life, even when it's not necessary. Which is why they face nervous exhaustion, because energy gets depleted when the mind is in this very hypersensitive mode. There is one thing to note here though, is that today we live in a culture and society that is powered and focused on movement, right? Get targets achieved on time, reach on time, get jobs at home and office done on time, and travel to different destinations and time zones for work, again movement. So literally every action of today is movement based. So it's natural that that means people of all doshas have their Vata movements of excessive movement or nervousness, volatility, panic or degrees of it. or even anxiety. So that doesn't mean to say that you're a Vata type person. But if throughout your life you have had this generic tendency or a pattern to have been mostly in this mode, like this overreactive mode for most of life situations, whether it is relationship or work or travel, etc., then it means you're a Vata person. So you need to assess this very accurately. So it's this generic lifelong pattern or tendency versus something that just happens now and then only occasionally. Okay, so now we move on to Pitta. Pitta shows up as a very strong mental appetite, this innate interest to learn and explore, also great memory. They have great intellect, self-confidence. They're very ambitious people with great clarity of thought. They make, their very fair and clear decisions. They have a lot of willpower, focused attention and concentration. They are very charismatic. They are that one person in a crowd whose company everybody is enjoying, like the center of attraction. They are born leaders. So they are more articulate, perceptive, they're full of energy, they're perfectionists, they're very passionate, they love challenges. Pitta people just take on responsibilities very naturally. They are driven, they're very competitive, and when in balance, their stress is usually metabolized into problem solving rather than anger. But when they're imbalanced, they can feel intense anger, short temper, aggression, irritability, mood swings, etc. Even like the smallest matters, they become very impatient and very hostile, judgmental of not just others but themselves as well. They also feel jealousy because they become overcompetent. They just need to control everything around them. They become very demanding and intolerant to errors of others and their own selves. They suffer from this workaholic syndrome. You will feel intimidated when around a Pitta person when they are out of balance. You'll just feel it, Their whole life becomes this to-do list. So they don't recognize the importance of breaks and balance. For them, time is money, and don't you dare try to stop a Pitta person. You will face the wrath or abandonment of a Pitta person if you come in their way. Kapha people, on the other hand, are always calm and they're relaxed and centered in everything they do. Even if a situation is very stressful or under pressure, they'll still be very calm. A recent study done on Kapha candidates showed that they have higher parasympathetic activity and lower sympathetic activity as compared to Pitta or Vata types. What does that mean? It means that when Kapha type people face a challenge, their bodies stay more in the rest and digest mode and less in the fight or flight mode. They are those people who are grounded and emotionally stable. They are very loyal, kind, empathetic, forgiving, content, committed, and tolerant and nurturing people. And all these are amazing qualities for any relationship. They love routine and repetition. So they are slow to learn, but once they do, oh my God, they can remember it for a lifetime because they have the memory of an elephant, literally. They are rarely in a hurry and nothing seems to make them angry. But when out of balance, they become just too attached, very clingy and very possessive. And they will tend to procrastinate. Also, they will feel emotionally heavy, like depression or resistance to change. Remember, they're very static. So they feel lazy, they will withdraw and be quiet, but they won't react or respond. So they face this inner loneliness or longing or sadness, jealousy, and they develop comfort-seeking behaviors like overeating, oversleeping. The biggest challenge for a Kapha is that they are so busy taking care of others that they forget to take care of themselves. They are more introspective people rather than focused on the external. They just don't want to burden others with their problems, which is why they also end up keeping trauma or issues within themselves and they don't let it out. They hold on and they conceal it, which is also why they're prone to like depression, weight gain, cancers, tumors, because they are holding that energy within them. They can't express it out or let it out. Kaphas, most times, especially when imbalanced, find it very hard to actually get up in the morning and have enthusiasm to take on the day. Now that you've understood all the doshas in detail, you are ready to take on the quiz. I've provided a free quiz as a link below in the description. It's pretty detailed, so you can take your time and do it. A very important point to note here before you taking the quiz is to tick your choices as per your generic lifelong pattern, right from when you were born as a child up to now. The quiz is to figure out your baseline dosha, your Prakriti, the one that you're born with, not your current state of imbalance. It's not your vikriti. Also, this is a good way to know your dosha. But I highly recommend that if you have an experienced Vaidya, who is basically an Ayurvedic doctor near to where you live, I highly recommend that you get your pulse and statistics diagnosed by him. But if that's not an option, you always have the quiz. Just be honest while you answer the questions and the reading will be accurate. I hope this video has helped you and at least gotten you interested in getting to know your own body constitution better. Please let me know if you have any questions and I'll try to answer them to the best of my capabilities. Until the next time, bye-bye.